Hi everyone, welcome to the Simply Explained English podcast. I'm Lisa and I'm here with my friend Eric.
Hello to all our viewers and listeners. We're happy to have you with us today.
In this podcast, we explain some English words in a very simple and basic way. We also give you some example dialogues to help you understand how to use these words in different situations. We hope you enjoy our podcast and learn something new.
And today, we have 5 words to explain to you. They are to be tiny, to be cautious, to compare, to let down, and to be a mess. Are you ready, Lisa?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's start with the first word, to be tiny. What does it mean, Eric?
Well, to be tiny means to be very small. For example, an ant is tiny. You can barely see it with your eyes.
So, to be tiny means to be very, very small. Can you give us an example of dialogue with this word?
Sure, Lisa. Here is one.
Have you seen the new kitten Sarah got?
No, I haven't. Is it cute?
Yes, it's incredibly cute and so tiny. It fits in the palm of my hand.
Ah, I can't wait to see it. Tiny kittens are the cutest.
Oh, I like tiny kittens. They are so cute.
Yes, Lisa. Tiny kittens are really adorable. Do you have any pets?
No, I don't have pets now, but I used to have a cat. And you?
I have a dog. His name is Max. He's very friendly and loves playing in the park.
I miss my cat so much, I'm thinking of adopting one soon.
You should do it as soon as possible, Lisa. Pets make life happier.
Yes, it does. I'm looking forward to it.
I hope you will have one tiny kitten soon, Lisa.
Thank you, Eric. I hope so. All right, let's continue with the next word, to be cautious.
To be cautious.
To be cautious.
What does it mean, Lisa?
To be cautious means to be careful and avoid risks. For example, if you cross the street, you should be cautious. You should look both ways and wait for the green light. A driver is also cautious when he or she drives slowly and follows the traffic rules.
That's a good explanation, Lisa. Can you give us an example dialogue with this word?
Sure, Eric, here is one.
I'm going to climb that mountain. It looks fun.
Are you sure? That mountain is very high and steep. You should be cautious.
Don't worry, Dan. I have all the equipment and experience. I'll be fine.
Okay, but please be careful. I don't want you to get hurt.
In this dialogue, Cindy wants to climb a mountain, but Dan warns her to be cautious. That means he wanted her to be careful and avoid risks, right?
Yes, Lisa. That's correct. Dan was concerned about Cindy's safety, but Cindy was confident and adventurous. She didn't think the mountain was too dangerous.
Even if I had experience, I think climbing a mountain might be risky sometimes. I prefer to stay on the ground.
Lisa, it seems that you don't like to take risks.
I think it depends on the situation. Sometimes I like to take risks and try new things, but other times I like to be cautious and avoid dangers. For example, I don't like to ride roller coasters or bungee jumping. They are too scary for me. What about you, Eric?
Well, I'm similar to you, Lisa. I also like to take risks and be cautious depending on the situation. But I think I'm more adventurous than you. I like to ride roller coasters and bungee jumping. They are fun and exciting for me. But I also know when to be cautious and careful. I don't take risks that are too dangerous or harmful.
Yes, we have to know our limits. I think that's what our listeners do too. They are smart and balanced people who want to learn English and have fun at the same time.
That's right, Lisa. And we're happy to help them with that. We hope they enjoyed our podcast today and learned something new.
All right, let's move on to the next word. To compare.
To compare.
To compare.
What does it mean, Lisa?
To compare means to examine or think about 2 or more things and see how they are the same or different. For example, you can compare apples and oranges. They are both fruits, but they have different colors, shapes, and tastes.
Let's have a look at our example dialogue then.
Which dress do you like better, this one or that one?
Let me compare them. This one is blue and that one is red. This one has flowers and that one has stripes. This one is long and that one is short. I think they are both nice, but I like this one more. It suits you better.
Thank you, Frank. You're very kind. I'll buy this one then.
That was a very nice dialogue, Lisa. So, in this dialogue, Emma and Frank compare two dresses. That means they examined them and saw how they were similar or different.
Emma and Frank compared the dresses by looking at their colors, patterns, and lengths.
Yes, Lisa. Okay, let's move on to the next word.
Before we move on, let me ask you a question. If you compare Spanish and English, what would you say?
Good question. I would say that Spanish and English have some similarities and some differences. For example, they both use the same alphabet. But Spanish has some extra letters. They also have some words that come from Latin or Greek, and they sound and mean the same. But they also have some differences in grammar and pronunciation. For example, Spanish has nouns that are masculine or feminine and adjectives that change according to the noun. English doesn't have that. I think these are some of the main similarities and differences between Spanish and English.
Eric, you made a good comparison of Spanish and English. I think both languages are beautiful and useful.
I agree. These are some of the most spoken languages in the world.
Yes, that's another fact. All right, our next word is to let down. What does it mean, Eric?
To let down means to make someone unhappy or not do what they want or expect. For example, if you say you will do something for someone, but if you don't do it, you let them down. They are sad and angry because you did not keep your word. A teacher can also let down a student if he or she does not help them or teach them well.
That's a good explanation, Eric. And here is an example dialogue.
Hi, Harry. I'm sorry I'm late. I had some problems at work.
Grace, you let me down. We were supposed to go to the movies together. I bought the tickets and waited for you for an hour. But you never showed up.
I'm really sorry, Harry. I didn't mean to let you down. I had an urgent project to finish, and I couldn't leave. I tried to call you, but your phone was off.
Well, you should have told me earlier. I wasted my time and money for nothing. I'm very upset with you, Grace.
So in this dialogue, Grace lets Harry down. That means she disappointed him and failed to meet his expectations.
Yes, Eric, that's correct. Harry felt sad and angry because Grace did not keep his promise.
Well, I think letting someone down is a bad thing. It hurts their feelings and damages their trust. Have you ever let someone down or been disappointed by someone else, Lisa?
I have, Eric. I think it might happen to everyone. Sometimes we do something wrong unintentionally, or things can happen that we cannot stop. But I always say sorry and fix it. I also forgive others when they make me unhappy. I think that's key for any relationship.
I agree, Lisa. I also think talking and communication are important. It helps us understand each other better and avoid misunderstandings. I think that's what our listeners want too. They want to communicate better in English and learn new words.
That's why we're here. We're here to help our viewers improve their English and have fun at the same time. And we have one last word to explain to them today. A mess.
A mess.
A mess. Are you ready, Eric?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it, Lisa.
All right, our last word is a mess. What does it mean, Eric?
A mess means a situation or a place that is dirty or chaotic. For example, if you spill your coffee on the floor, you make a mess. A room can also be a mess. If there are clothes, books, and toys everywhere, it's a mess.
So a mess means a situation or a place that is dirty, disorderly, or chaotic. And our example dialogue is coming.
Look at this kitchen, it's a mess. Who cooked last night?
Me. I made pasta and salad. What's the problem?
The problem is everything. Dishes, pots, pans, sauce, crumbs, and lettuce everywhere. Why did you leave this mess, John?
I'm sorry, Helen. I was tired. I wanted to clean in the morning. But I slept late and went to work. I didn't want to make a mess.
I have to clean it now. Thanks, John.
In the dialogue, John made a mess in the kitchen by not washing the dishes, wiping the surfaces, or sweeping the floor. Helen had to do all the work, and she was very unhappy with him. Do you keep things neat and tidy, Lisa?
I like to keep things neat and tidy, Eric. I think it makes the place look nice and comfortable. It also makes me feel more organized and relaxed. I always put things back where they belong. How about you, Eric?
I'm the same, Lisa. I don't like to make a mess or see a mess. I think it's a sign of respect and responsibility.
I totally agree with you, Eric. Okay, we hope our viewers had fun and learned some new words today. We also hope they liked our example dialogues and our conversations.
We had a wonderful time, and we want to thank you, our viewers, for your support and comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
And we hope to see you again soon. Until then, take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.